Australia is really changing the game when it comes to attracting global talent. We're moving beyond just filling jobs. This is a massive strategic shift to actively go after the world's best and brightest. And it just might be your ticket in.
Think about the usual migration process for a second. Long waits, confusing paperwork, a ton of uncertainty, right? Well, what if I told you there's now a business class lane designed to let you bypass all of that chaos? That's exactly what this new visa is all about.
And here it is, the Specialist Skills Pathway. It has been built from the ground up with just one goal in mind: to give high-earning professionals a super fast, clear, and efficient way into Australia by just cutting through all that red tape.
Okay, so the first question on everyone's mind is probably, am I even eligible for this thing? Let's dive into one of its most radical new features, what I'm calling the no occupation list rule.
What you're seeing here is a complete flip in how things are done. The old way was, you can come in if your job's on our big approved list. This new pathway says, you can come in unless your job is on our tiny little exclusion list. This is a massive game changer, especially for modern white-collar roles that don't always fit neatly into a box.
So what does that actually look like? Well, it covers pretty much every senior professional role you can imagine. We're talking managers, engineers, IT specialists, even high-level executive assistants. The government has cast a really wide net on purpose because they're focused on the level of your role, not some super specific narrow job title. Okay, but here's the really critical part, and it's an absolute deal breaker for some. Trades are completely excluded from this pathway. So you could be a highly specialized underwater welder earning 200 grand a year, but because your job falls into the trades category, you are not eligible for this specialist stream. And there's a reason for this, right? It's all about protecting Australia's own domestic apprenticeship system. All right, so if it's not about a specific job title, then what is the big deciding factor? Well, it really comes down to one thing: money. The salary is the new gatekeeper. It swaps out all those complex skills assessments for one clear financial line in the sand.
And here is the magic number as of late 2024: 135,000 Australian dollars. That is the absolute minimum guaranteed salary you need to even get your foot in the door. But wait, just hitting that $135,000 number isn't quite enough. The government is really focused on this one specific term you see here: guaranteed annual earnings, or GAE. And the key word to remember is guaranteed. If it's not promised in writing in your contract, to them, it's basically invisible. And this table breaks it down perfectly. Your base salary, any guaranteed allowances, those are in. But things like performance bonuses, commissions, most overtime, they're out. Let's take a sales director, for example, on a $200,000 package, $100K base and $100K in commission. While their GAE is only $100,000, so believe it or not, they'd actually fail the test. The contract has to guarantee at least $135K.
And listen, there's a really important safeguard built in here. You can't just buy the visa by getting an employer to inflate your salary. The government is going to check that offer against the genuine market rate for that kind of senior role. So offering a junior coordinator 140 grand just to sneak them in, that's going to be an immediate red flag.
All right, so let's say you've ticked the eligibility box and you've hit the salary number. Now we get to the really exciting stuff, the visa's superpowers. These are the benefits that seriously set it apart on the world stage.
Just look at this. 7 days. That's the median processing time for a complete decision-ready application in this stream. When you compare that to weeks or even months for other visas, it is an absolute game changer for top talent who might be juggling offers from London or Singapore. I mean, this really tells the whole story, doesn't it? You're essentially being pulled out of the massive general queue and put into your own express lane. For the government, it's about making sure that a top-tier candidate doesn't get frustrated and just take another offer while they're stuck waiting.
Now this, right here, this might be the single biggest reform of them all. The time you have to find a new sponsor if you leave your job has been tripled, from a really stressful 60 days to a much safer 180 days. We're talking 6 months. It completely changes the power dynamic, putting it back in your hands. So why does this matter so much? Well, first off, it's a huge safety net. Moving your entire life to another country is a big risk, and having 6 months to find another top job makes it so much safer. Second, it gives you some serious leverage to test the market. And for recruiters, it makes you a way more attractive candidate because you're almost as mobile as a permanent resident. So yeah,
Speed and flexibility are fantastic, but let's be honest, for a lot of people, the real prize is permanent residency. And this pathway is specifically designed to be a direct bridge to get you there. And here's the roadmap to get there. It is just beautifully simple. You work for 2 years in Australia on this visa, and then your employer can put you forward for permanent residency. They've even cut the qualifying period down from 3 years to just 2. Now, this might sound a bit technical, but it is such a critical reform that solves a massive problem from the old system. It used to be that if you change jobs, your clock for PR would reset back to 0. Not anymore. Now, your experience is cumulative. You can do 1 year with company A, move to company B for another year, and that adds up to the 2 years you need. The clock keeps ticking, no matter who you work for. So the big question is, how does this really stack up on the world stage? Well, it's not just competitive, it's a real leader. When you put it side by side with the UK, the lottery-based US system, or even Canada's fantastic program, you can see that Australia's pathway is a top contender for its combination of speed, certainty, and that really clear 2-year path to PR. Okay, one last really crucial thing to remember here. Timing is everything. This $135,000 threshold isn't set in stone. It's designed to go up every single year. By mid-2025, it's already expected to jump to over $141,000. So for anyone who's kind of hovering around that salary band, well, the window of opportunity is right now. All right, let's pull all of this together. We've gone through who's eligible, the money rules, the incredible benefits, and that clear runway to residency. So what's the big takeaway here? When you boil it all down, the value proposition is just crystal clear. You're getting incredible processing speed, entry based on a simple salary number, not some complicated list, the safety net to change jobs without panicking, and of course, the ultimate prize, a clear 2-year shot at making Australia your permanent home.
Look, this visa isn't going to be for everyone. But for those high-earning professionals who really value speed, clarity, and certainty, Australia has basically rolled out the most attractive welcome mat in the world. The only real question left to ask is, could this be the career-defining move you've been waiting for?